So how much does it cost to start a fashion brand? Truth is, it can vary a lot, but in this video, I'm going to explain to you what impacts the cost, what you can do about it, and tell you what I do and what my clients do as well when we're thinking about the cost of starting up our new fashion business. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Vicky, founder of The Fashion Business Coach, the platform that helps small and startup fashion brands to launch and scale successfully. This is one of my free weekly videos, so if you're not already following along or subscribing, depending on which channel you're watching on, make sure that you do so that you can be notified of each new video. Every week we give out free tips to help you propel your fashion brand forward. So how much does it cost to start a fashion brand? If you're at the very beginning of this journey and maybe even wondering if the fashion industry is right for you, it's an important question, right? And I'm guessing that this isn't the first thing that you've seen on this topic. So you've probably been Googling, you've probably heard a lot of experts say things like, oh, you need 20,000, maybe even more, certainly within the tens of thousands. And while that is true for some people, it doesn't have to be. To be completely transparent, the cost can be anywhere. Personally, with clients that I've worked with, and I've worked with hundreds of startup fashion brands over the years, the costs for startups have been anywhere from a few £100s or dollars right up to £40,000 or dollars. And the interesting thing is, each one of those brands, with anybody who's at these various different price points, they've been able to achieve levels of success. And the thing it comes down to usually is if you have less money, you're going to grow slower because you have less money to invest in stock, so you can sell less. The second reason is often because you're going to have to put in more time yourself, so that also slows the growth down because there's only so many hours in a day, and I'm guessing a lot of you watching this video have other commitments like work or studies or family or whatever it might be, so time can be an issue. So if you are one of those people though watching this thinking, I really want to start a fashion business but I'm not loaded, join the club. You can do it on the cheap. And actually my very first fashion business, I started with just a few £100s. So I know for sure that it can be done, and subsequently clients have done exactly the same thing. So how do you even decide how much you're going to need? Well, the way that I do this, and I'm not a risk taker, which is why this suits me just fine, is that I'll decide what I feel comfortable spending personally, or if I'm working with a client, I'll ask them what they feel comfortable spending and then work from there. So say if someone has a budget of £2,000 or less, that's what they feel comfortable spending, and that's around, I guess, 2,300 US or something like that. If that's what they feel comfortable with, then generally we go down the route of customizing product and buying existing product rather than creating from scratch, because manufacturing is something that takes up a lot of money, but also it takes up a lot of time. So it's going to be quite a long time before you see a return on that investment. If you are one of those people watching this thinking, okay, I have hundreds, not thousands to spend, definitely check out the free ebook that I'm going to link to below for you, because that's going to help you to understand the strategy that I use for people with a smaller budget. And that's the same strategy that I used for my first business when I didn't have much cash either. And it's something that a lot of clients have subsequently used. So that's definitely what I would say to you guys. For those of you who are dead set on having custom manufactured clothing, you are going to need a bigger budget, and you are going to need to prepare for the fact that it is going to be a much longer time before you can actually earn a living from this and see money back, simply because the custom manufacture process can be anywhere from sort of, and I say custom manufacture, I guess I mean when you're doing it from scratch, it's going to be sort of 6 months to up to 18 months. Some of my clients have taken that long because they have other commitments, they're working a full-time job and they're starting from absolute scratch with no contacts or anything, so they do take their time. Others can do it in about 6 months, but even in industry and like big companies that I work for, we're generally working kind of 8 months in advance. So you as the new business owner need to be prepared for the fact that you're probably not going to earn anything up to that point. You may want to therefore revert to the free ebook that I've mentioned, because that's going to help you with that method of customization. And even if that's not your long-term goal, it's going to help you to do something quickly where you can start getting money in the bank sooner. For those of you who are wanting completely custom, not interested in this other stuff, then yes, you are going to be needing thousands. There's definitely business models that you can use to minimize that risk so that you can start with a few thousand rather than running into the tens of thousands. You do need to make sure that you're being realistic though, because if you have ideas of having like 20 different styles and like multiple different colors within that, that's just going to make the costs increase further. So keep the collection really, really small if you are on that kind of middle ground in terms of the budget. Now, of course, in this video, there's only so much that I can give because a lot of it's going to come down to your personal situation and your personal business aims. As I said right at the start, you can start with as little as a few hundred. And what I would say to people that want to do that is be open to suggestion. You're probably not going to get exactly what you want because you have to make compromise to fit into pricing. Those of you who are really specific with what you want, be prepared that you're probably going to have to pay more. The more specific you are and the more different styles and different color options that you have, the more expensive your launch is likely to be. If you want a bit more personal information and to get some one-on-one advice about this, I'd love to help you with that. And one of the things that I work with clients on is they'll come to me with their budget, what they feel comfortable spending, and we'll sort of map out the business model that suits that budget and how they can basically make best use of that cash. And similarly, for the people that are really specific about what they want, we can have a look at what that's going to entail, how complicated or maybe not so complicated it's going to be, and figure out really whether feasibly this is actually going to be possible. So if either of those things sound like they're going to be helpful to you, I'll link all the details below so you can get in touch if you'd like. I hope that's helpful and at least given you some hope for a lot of you that actually you can start a fashion brand on a much smaller budget than perhaps Google has been telling you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in next week's video.